Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. This video is for people that have a hard time saying no to others, for people pleasers, for yes people, for people who have a hard time setting and enforcing their boundaries, and basically honoring themselves. Because what happened is, when we're saying yes, a lot of times we want to say no and we're not doing what we actually want to be doing. Okay, so let's talk about it. I have 10 tips and tools here to help you become better in these areas. All right, so the first thing that I have on my list here is separate refusal from rejection. Separate refusal from rejection. A lot of times, yes people or people that have a hard time saying no, they think that by saying no to the person that they're rejecting the person. It could be a friend that's coming and asking me to do something that just simply cannot fit into my schedule, or maybe I don't really have the resources to do this right now. And I'm not rejecting them. I'm just saying no to whatever the favor is or whatever they're asking me to do that doesn't work out for me in my life right now. It's not rejecting the person. It's just saying no to whatever that circumstances is that you cannot be a part of or don't want to participate in, or, don't have the means to, or you just don't want to. And that's enough right there in itself. Just because you just don't want to, you don't have to. Okay? But we have to get it in our minds to separate the whole notion that we're rejecting someone. Because when you feel that way, then you're going to start feeling bad. You're feeling like the bad guy. And then there's some type of obligation that comes there. You don't want to hurt somebody's feeling. You're adding extra pressure and weight on a situation that is so simple. And we're making it more complicated even than the person that's probably asking us to do something. Okay? So let's separate that. Let's separate refusal and rejection. The next thing I have on my list is to give yourself time. Sometimes, and this is for the people that really have it bad, and it's so hard for them not to say no to people. To start off, just start giving yourself time. And what does this look like? This would look like you saying, I'll let you know. Let me think about it. I'll get back to you. I have to double check my schedule. I have to double check my budget. And what you're doing is you're using a tool here to allow yourself to have that time so that you're not doing this knee-jerk yes that you're going to regret as soon as you say it or as soon as that person leaves, because you're thinking on the inside, I didn't really want to do this, but I felt pressured to make a quick decision. So I said yes because I wasn't feeling strong enough to say no to that person. Okay, don't let anyone corner you. Don't let anyone make you feel like it's so urgent that you have to do it then and there. It's your decision. It is your decision how you want to react and respond in the situation. Okay, so give yourself the time. If you don't feel strong enough to just say it right then and there, just say one of those phrases or something like it to buy yourself more time, and then obviously respond back to them in a reasonable amount of time to where they're not going to feel slighted that you're dragging it on. Okay. All right. So the next thing that I have on my list is to retrain your expectations. All right, because if you've been a yes person, people are just automatically expecting you to do whatever they ask you to do. So you're going to have to start retraining people by how you handle and deal with them. And this might take time if you have a lot of stubborn, needy people in your life that you may or may not be able to just directly cut out of your life. And they may resist or try to guilt you for honoring yourself, but that's when you really have to step into your strength, okay? So how can you start retraining yourself with people? Well, you need to have levels with people. And this relates to your boundaries. You have your inner circle and your outer circle, right? And they shouldn't have the same access to you. So think about the people that you interact with and the people that may come up to you for this and that. Are they in your inner circle or your outer circle? That's just a general way of putting it. You can make the categories even smaller, but the whole idea is you don't have to give everybody, and you shouldn't be giving everybody the same access to you and your resources as the people that are the closest to you. Okay? The other thing is you have to manage their expectations of your time, especially if this person is a toxic person. If people are just used to you replying back on the text messages 1 second later, you never miss a phone call, even when you're driving, even when you're carrying 20 bags of groceries, you're answering the phone like you're just going out of the way to never be a second late, responding to people. You've set that expectation and you're going to have to start retraining it. Now, personally, several years ago, I was dating this guy and he always had his phone on silent. And he told me, he was like, I don't like to feel like I'm a slave to my phone. When I hear all these alerts coming through, I'm like tempted to touch my phone. This way, I look at my phone when I feel like it and I answer people when I naturally feel like being bothered with my phone. And I really thought about that. And I was like, I really like the idea of that because my phone is always ringing and busy. When I'm away from my kids, I do put it on vibrate, but when I'm home with my kids, my phone is usually on silent, maybe vibrate, unless I'm expecting an important call, and I'll make it accessible during those times. But you know what it did? It did exactly what he said it would do. I felt so relaxed, and I answer people when I answer them. So, I took a page out of his book and I want to share that with you guys because it's how I lead my life and it's really been helpful to me. Okay, guys? And especially if the person, like I said, is very needy, you're going to have to lower or eliminate your interactions with them, with the serial askers and takers and selfish people by reducing your availability. And part of that would be not be tied at the hip with your phone. I mean, it could be there on your hip, but you don't have to be rushing to respond to people. Okay? I really found that was really helpful to me. The other thing I have on my list here is drop the need to explain yourself. I mean, you can say no to someone without explaining them and telling all your business to them or overly being apologetic like you were in the wrong for saying no to them. You can say no and leave it there. You don't owe them an explanation. You are an adult. If you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. You don't have to tell them your business or feel like you have to make up a little white lie or even a big one to make them feel, because you think they're going to feel bad, mad at you for saying no. So you have to give them this really big emergency or really big reason as to why you can or can't do something. No, you don't have to do that. And a lot of yes people, a lot of people pleasers feel like they have to explain themselves when they're saying no to everybody. It could be a random stranger trying to sell you Girl Scout cookies. You want to buy these cookies? Instead of just saying no, thank you. Oh, you know what? No, thank you. I don't have much cash on me, or I need this $4 to pay this toll down here. I'm about to drive over the bridge. Look, they don't even care to hear all of that, honestly. But no, thank you is more than enough. And that is perfectly, proper to do. So keep your responses simple. You're an adult leading your life. You know your situation, and they should be intelligent to know, like, okay, she's saying no for a reason. And that's that. All right. So the next thing that I have on here is Don't be afraid to repeat yourself or walk away from the situation. You know, people will try to nudge you to swing their way. And if you've already given them a firm no and they're still trying to challenge you, you don't owe them any more energy, number one. I mean, if you want to in some situations, maybe you were really timid with the first delivery of it, and you can just reinforce yourself depending on the situation. It's really situational, but don't be afraid to walk away from the situation as well. So you have to figure out that way, you know, the way that you're delivering things to people. And that leads into my next tip, which is to be firm, be direct, be confident. You want to sound certain. If you're face to face, you want to give the eye contact. You want to speak with clarity, speak with authority. You want to mind your body language, like come across with the confidence. Like, you don't have to say no. You know, all timid is just, it's no. It doesn't mean that you have to say it mean. You don't have to be evil. You don't have to be slick with it or sound like you're getting smart with them, but you can be assertive. You're just being assertive. No is not a bad word. As a matter of fact, you're going to find out how powerful it is to actually, it's a beautiful word. It may even be more of a beautiful word than yes. Okay. All right, so I have that one. The other thing I have on my list here is it's okay to change your mind. You know, a lot of times people might be repeating requests from you, like they borrowed money last week. Now they're borrowing this month and next month and next month. So you've helped them for 6 months straight, and now they're coming this time, and you're feeling, well, I did all the other times. And, you know, a yes person and a people pleaser will be in that pattern, and now they're going to feel guilty because they've been sustaining them, and now they're going to feel guilty to do it now. No, just because you did it 7 other times, it doesn't mean that you have to do it this time. Just because you did it the other time doesn't mean that you can do it this time. And it doesn't even mean that you're able to do it, but it doesn't mean that you want to do it as well. So all of these things come into the picture. You don't have to do it just because you did it before. Don't feel pressured over that just because you've had a pattern of helping them out or doing whatever it is. Okay, so you don't have to jump at that. I think, let me look on here. Yep, so that's what I have so far for this part 1 video. And I really hope that it helps, you know, anyone out there that's having a hard time saying no, having a hard time standing up for themselves, having a hard time beginning to enforce their boundaries. Because you have to be able to say no, or else people are going to run over your boundaries. You know, you're going to be exhausted at that point because it's really a free-for-all because you're saying yes to everything. You know, there's only so much of you that you have to pass around. So, and you need to be there for yourself. You can't be split up into pieces helping a million people, because we can help as many people as we can, but you can't save the world. You can't save the world, okay? All right, so if this video speaks to you, go ahead and hit the like button. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, feel free to do so. And I hope this is helping you guys. I have some other videos on boundary and confidence and just even recognizing if you're setting healthy boundaries. I'll recommend those videos and I'll put them in a link in the description here. If you are struggling with getting over a toxic relationship, or you want to get more wisdom on healthy relationships and identifying toxic ones, I've written books on this. If you are a sexual assault survivor or a rape survivor, I have written a book to help survivors in their healing from that as well. So just go ahead and take a look at that in the description. All the books are available on Amazon in ebook form and hard copy. I also do coaching via over the phone, email, or Skype. You can check out my website, LakiaCrawford.com. You're welcome to email me at CoachLakia@gmail.com if you're interested. And as always, you can always leave comments down there. You can make video requests. I get to them as soon as I can. And until next time, guys, take care.